The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? Thank God it's Friday here at the Might Be News Network. Season 3, Might Be Tunes. I'm Taylor Kruber. With me is Ahmed and Carl. What's up, guys?
What's up?
We're on YouTube right now. Go smash the subscribe button, hit the notifications, do all that cool shit. We're sponsored by Eunomia. Go to eunomiacbd.com. Use promo code MBN. Get 20% off, free shipping, free shit. It's not a drill, people. Shit is bang bang. Go do it right now. Also, check us out at mbnnetwork.com. It's a beautiful site. Beautiful site. We got logos on it. We got all the stuff. We go to the store. You go to the store, get some shit. We got coffee mugs. We got t-shirts. We got hats coming. We got hoodies over there. Not just for the network, people. We got them for all the different shows as well. So if you are a big Might Be Tunes fan, treat yourself. Go get a fucking Might Be Tunes t-shirt today. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Yo, I'm hype to be here.
You are so hype right now.
Well, yo, this will be our YouTube debut, provided that we don't play any AC/DC during the course of this episode. This will be our. I don't have it. I'm not doing it. I swear to God, I'm not. I don't get this phone cord away from me. Matter of fact, just get it all out of here. I don't even want the option.
I got the phone cord.
Don't
today.
do it. No, we're gonna be off of YouTube in a split second.
No, I don't want to play AC/DC though.
Don't play anything. Oh my God, we're gonna get kicked off. We're gonna get kicked off.
I was gonna say do it. Keep it a thing where we do it every show. That was funny.
So that I just take the time to edit a video and it might go out. Because yo, I edited the video for our first episode and I felt really good about it. I was like, this is a funny ass episode. I think it's fucking hysterical. We did the right thing. We only played a few seconds of this stupid thing. We're not gonna get in trouble. I put it up there in private.
Obeyed the law.
Oh, dude, they crushed it. I couldn't even play it. They just totally blocked it. It was done. Done.
It sucks because that was a good one. I like that one.
It was a good one. You can still listen to it. The podcast is out there. You can still listen to it. Why
So
is
go
the
listen to
screen blanking? Why is it doing that? I don't know why it's doing
Is
that.
it doing? Yeah, there too.
I don't know.
Is it the lights?
Shouldn't be. Well,
There's
it's
a
good now.
poltergeist in here. You got gremlins?
I guess it's good now. I don't know. No gremlins that I know of. Could be the coronavirus.
Please
go.
don't get me started.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 seconds after we push play, I'm scratching my face like an idiot.
No,
I'm the one that's the most worried about it out of us three.
Bullshit. I'm worried about it right now.
I don't even know why I'm talking to you this close. We should be.
Are you guys really worried about it?
We should be in separate rooms.
You have to have it in order to spread it. I don't have it.
I am worried about it a little bit.
I don't know what's going on with the camera.
It's still doing it.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what it's doing. Are the lights blinking?
the
They're
lights.
not blinking.
It's the lights that are flickering, which is making the camera adjust
Are they flickering though?
a little bit.
Slow.
If I look at them long enough, it
We're
kind
not
of hurts.
supposed to talk about that.
Yeah, let's just not even pay attention. If the video sucks, the
gotta
video
use,
sucks. We weren't even on YouTube the first episode, so fuck them.
Yeah.
But if you are on YouTube, shout out to you guys. Sorry about the lighting and all that. Trying to be professional, and
It looks good.
it does look good when it's not fucking up.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Whatever the reason is.
how you doing?
Well, we're going to have to be our own worst judges on the quality that we're putting up. So,
Well, it's confused. I don't know where to look.
I mean,
Camera
do we look at the TV or the camera?
Yeah, I'm sitting here. Should I be talking to?
right there.
Well, hold on. I don't think we should be looking at the camera because aren't actors told to ignore the camera? And we should just be talking to each other.
Yeah, that's
True.
the other part. Like, why the? Yeah,
But that's if you're in a movie. If you're in a movie or a show, you have to pretend that the camera's not there, unless you're like Jim Halpert from The Office. But if they were doing like a reality show, which I guess this is.
It'd be cool if we had more than one angle, so we could do dramatic turns to the other one. That'd be cool. But instead, we're all three of us at the same
then-
time. We're like,
you add sound effects to it, so it's like ding.
I don't. It's just interesting.
Just go like,
Yeah. Oh my God, that's dumb.
see, we can't get blocked
Yeah.
on YouTube for that shit.
I don't know.
They'll find a way.
I mean,
somebody will find a way.
Right. These
We're trying to have a music podcast and we can't play music.
Yeah. So, we're talking about different things that we can do off mic, and we have a bunch of cool ideas that we're gonna try and implicate here moving forward. I mean, Ahmed had a really great idea. We're gonna, do some reaction parts to our show occasionally, like whenever we have, like, if there's a movie trailer out there, for example,
trailer reactions.
Yeah, like we watch trailers, do shit like that, because there is things on YouTube that we can do differently to do more things than just sit here and talk about music. There's other options. We can make it work.
Yeah.
It's just a question of, we'll just make it work.
It'll
Because
happen.
YouTube bust us. Like everybody else, like you can go and you can still listen to, like I said, the last episode where we played AC/DC 10 times a minute. You can go back and listen to all the episodes from last season's where we played a bunch of music too. So like all the podcasts are still there. It's YouTube. It's YouTube that's really kind of shitting in our cereal bowl right now. But that's okay, because we're doing shit the wrong way. I can't be mad. I can't be mad.
No, just because it's their way doesn't mean it's the wrong way.
No, I get it. Because like I'm not trying
it's
to
just their way.
Like I'd be fine with them just being like, okay, just Might Be Tunes doesn't get monetized on YouTube. That's fine. No problem. Like I don't have a problem with that. If they would just let us play the shit, or we give them money, or whatever money this episode makes, just give it to fucking AC/DC.
I'm just trying to give AC/DC publicity.
Right. Like why not? Like, yo, we're not like trashing everything. Like
they need our help.
We did go pretty hard on Nickelback, but I think that should be allowed too. Bruce Springsteen, like, we should be allowed to play the song.
And the funny thing is, I
like
like some of his stuff. It's just that Christmas song I don't.
Yeah. Well, and that's fine. But see, that's it's cool to talk about that shit.
He's
but
crossing party lines.
It's better though when you can play it as an example,
Yeah.
right? Because like you just sitting here and saying, "Oh, I don't like it," is okay. That's cool.
It could
but
turn- somebody else
reacting
could be turned
hearing
on
it
to it.
live, that shit's funny,
Yeah. Well, and somebody else just by hearing could get turned on to it.
right? Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's fun to like listen to people that you might not agree with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't agree with you guys about the Bruce Springsteen Christmas songs, but that conversation was funny as shit to listen to. So
keeps it interesting.
right.
I mean, that's the whole reason why I like to talk about music, to hear, someone who doesn't have the same
Right.
view as I do.
Right.
Like, why don't they like it? I want to know. Or why do they like it? I want to know.
And that's one of my favorite parts about music too, is because, there's no wrong answer,
Mm-hmm.
like I am not a big, you guys, for example, perfect example. You guys are big Metallica fans. I'm not. You know what I mean? But we can still have a great conversation about it.
A lot of people think that their opinion is the fact.
Right.
And that's where it gets twisted up.
Right. No, you're right.
So-
I mean, well, especially if like you're hypercritical of music.
Yeah.
Like if that's like a very, very important part of your life, like it is to everyone at this table, like I'll have a playful debate about top 5 rappers, with whoever. Like if it's like my first time speaking to somebody, I kind of like try to work that question in somewhere just to get just to read a
music
temperature.
debate?
Yeah. Just find a music debate. Like, yo, who's your favorite rapper? Like, just tell me right now. And if they say somebody whack, then like chances are that I'm going to judge you, whether I like say it out loud or not. Like, I'll probably just be like,
I listen to a lot of hip hop. I just don't feel like I'm a good person to speak on it.
Right.
And I've been listening to it forever. But like when people ask me, well, my favorite, like, of course, I'm like, Tupac. And then people are like, start going down these rabbit holes of all these other people that
But
are
you'll
better.
find that in anything.
I know, but
Yeah.
literally 99% of the time, I don't even know who they are. A lot of these other awesome, there's just so many. And like, I don't think I think listening to hip hop for like 25, 30 years now, I've only still scratched the surface.
right.
I'm telling you,
Of good stuff.
I'm the
You know what I
same
mean?
way.
every
Same way.
single genre has that. Hardcore was like that for a while. I mean, if you say you like Sick of It All or Gorilla Biscuits or any of those bands, and people would, that's the old school type of shit. But
Well, there's underrated musicians in every genre that even like cult following type deals where like it doesn't translate to everybody, or you just might not have heard about it. And that's something that's big time. And like, I mean, you got rock, but then there's indie rock. Like there's a lot of indie rock bands that a lot of people don't know about, but then they have like a huge following because like this certain clique of people know about them. Same thing in hip hop. You know what I mean?
Decades.
Decades,
telling you.
which is going to be one of our topics. That's our big topic today. We want to
Right
talk
here.
about the decades in music. Just right off the bat, I mean, what is everybody here's favorite decade in music?
Oh man.
From 0 to 0. So from 80 to 90, like, is an example.
Oh, see,
Or I guess
Well,
I guess you could go 5 to 5 if you wanted to too.
I was most influenced as a kid from 80s music. I was influenced to become a musician from 80s music, and it shines in the stuff that I write to today, even when I try my hardest not to. So it's easy for me to 80s.
Mostly what though? Like 80s rock, 80s everything?
Yeah, like, well, you know,
Because we've kind of talked about like the 80s like synth vibe.
we had, like, I
you
love
know.
like the synth, like the synth wave stuff of the 80s. Like,
I always think of
how it got-
Scarface.
how it got real. Look,
I always think of Scarface.
you know how it got real digital. But like, also like the glam bands I was big into. You
Yeah.
know, all those rock bands. But then at the same time is where I felt like I discovered metal, and Metallica and Guns N' Roses in the 80s, which was
Is that basically when you would say
Just
though
lit
that
me
like
on
metal's
fire.
like started? Like metal like really
no, metal started in the 70s, I believe.
The
Right?
late 70s.
Oh, I guess
early
yeah.
80s.
Right. So like
Motor
Sabbath,
Ozzy,
and, those
Black
guys.
Sabbath,
yeah.
all that shit.
Those
I
guys
mean-
were all doing that shit in Europe.
Right.
And that's where it originated from.
Right.
And
Well,
Metallica.
they say metal started with Black Sabbath,
Okay.
but that whole speed type of thing
Mm.
kind of started with Motorhead.
Okay.
So and Metallica was influenced by Motorhead. So
like they're like thrash.
everybody-
thrash was like a thing.
everybody piggybacks, off
Right.
of each other. And
Right.
it's- Yeah. And by the mid 80s, it was metal.
Okay.
That everybody considered metal. Because
Okay.
then there was Metallica, there was Slayer, there was Megadeth.
Because like if you
That was
watch-
like the metal explosion.
if you watch like old interviews from Metallica, like in the 84, 85, when people are talking about their beginning, they attributed it to they called it like the new wave of
heavy
British
metal. Yeah.
British heavy
Okay,
metal. is what they call
yeah.
it. And so they said that they were heavily influenced by that and wanted to bring their version of it to here, and then started Metallica in the Bay Area, but that was what they called it, the new wave of British heavy metal. It's like all this heavy bands that came after like the Flower movement, I guess. It's like the reaction to the Beatles.
Yeah.
Right. So 80s for you for multiple reasons.
Yeah, but like that doesn't mean I'm not like pretty heavy into 90s rock. Too like
That'd be
the early OOs were a little different for me. Like I was in my 20s, so
I'd have to go 95 to 2005 would probably be my number one. Just because like
because Wu-Tang falls in there.
for sure, like mid 90s hip hop was just like as gritty as it gets.
Right, but I never discovered how great that really was until a little later.
Same.
I only really
that's
knew what
fine.
was on MTV at that
Like
point.
that's fine. I think for this question, it's just like overall when you look at it as of right now in 2020, like not even, and you can answer however you want, whether it's like the most influential to you as a musician or entertainer, whatever, or if it's just like the easiest listening decade for you. It's like I can cruise through 90s music. Like 80s is hit or miss for me. 70s I love. 60s not so much.
That's where I'm at. I'm the 70s.
Yeah, I like 60s.
If we're going
70s, I mean.
if we're going top of the decade to the end of the decade, I'm definitely doing the 70s.
70s.
If you ask me like what I was more into now, even actually, I've probably held on longer to the 70s once I started really discovering that in my 20s. And like that's what I listen to the most now is music that comes from the 70s.
Why do you think that is? And when you think about the 70s, what bands do you think of?
Oh man,
Like, what's the first one that pops to your mind? When
Kiss.
Kiss. What about you?
Well, Floyd started in the in the 60s,
But they didn't really-
They're like legit group formation. Those core albums really started hitting in the 70s. Obviously Led Zeppelin
Led
same
Zeppelin.
that late 60s,
Yeah.
early, and then throughout the 70s. But you know, like bands like Deep Purple, like I feel like I still drive around listening to that shit. Like, and sometimes I'm just like, I'm literally probably the only person in the country listening to this record right now.
But then you got the funk explosion.
But I get so,
Right.
and plus all that funk and soul
Funk,
shit
yeah.
that once I started,
Funkadelic.
once I started discovering that, it was like a whole, like I was like, oh my God, I can't. Like,
War.
what am I supposed to do with all this?
The Ohio Players.
Ohio Players, I will dance all night to that
Bootsy
shit.
Collins.
Right.
All that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prince was just coming out.
Right.
Michael Jackson was just starting to. Rick James.
Yeah. Rick James in the 70s. Yeah.
And well, what got me with the 70s when I started really getting into it and started learning more and more about recording, which is what always pushes me into different directions. Like that's when I was just like, whoa, okay, these motherfuckers were good. Like, you know,
Because they had to be.
these people,
Right.
when you listen to records
Right.
from the 70s, those are just as top-notch musicians as you can get.
Yeah, because it was a totally different recording experience.
It's not just a drum machine keeping that swing. for
Right,
you,
right.
know?
You actually have to keep the beat. You actually have to. Everything you hear on those recordings is real,
Them. It's
real.
and it happened in real time.
There was no.
Yo,
punching in
Hendrix
the way
would
you
take
do it today.
Hendrix
No.
would do like 20 to 30 takes on a song, and his band would just be like, "What the fuck? He's
Yeah.
gonna make us do it again."
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, you think about it too. The '70s, you still had that those guys from the Motown people still making hits in the '70s as well, and like you look at people, I don't know, '70s might be the best. It might be the
Was.
best. Like there's just, I feel like that's where the most influential stuff came from.
Oh man, Taste of Honey, Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, I mean, it just
All
goes on and
probably
on.
the best decade
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think
But as far as-
everything
but-
has been trying to be the '70s ever since.
Personal influence, though, I still got to go with the 80s.
The '80s was the '70s.
Yeah,
but
personal
extra.
influence for me, '90s. But that's when I was coming up too, And I, like you said, Carl, I was late to the whole hip hop scene. I was way late to hip hop. But so I wasn't listening to Wu-Tang until like the late '90s, early 2000s. But when I first heard 36 Chambers, like it changed everything. You know what I mean? And like then I start diving into the first rap group I was into. The first hip hop anything I was into was Jurassic 5. And when I heard Jurassic 5,
I love those dudes.
oh my God, dude, the production, Newmark and Cut Chemist is like, they just drew me in. I needed more immediately. And I like the fact that it was a group. And I like the fact that their message was overall positive as well. I feel like that was a good intro.
Yeah, they're very positive, and
Into
every
hip-hop,
one of their hooks is a sing along.
Right.
And
then
their beats are just
so good.
they're so good, but they're so fucking simple too.
Oh my God, they're so good.
So simple.
And so, but then the very next thing is Wu-Tang. Somebody played Tears for me from 36 Chambers, and I'm like, what was that? Like, I love Kung Fu. Like, there's Kung Fu in this shit that I'm listening to. Like, what? And then I get into it, and it's like the grittiest, most fucked up gangster shit that I've ever heard, and I don't know anything about it, and I needed more of it right away.
And that's why I think MTV needs to be prime time again, where it shows everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Because of the fact of something like that, you
Dude,
could
I had-
find out
We're like
so much other shit just by waiting for your favorite. That's how it happened to me.
I had a cultural experience because of Wu-Tang. Like, I had a cultural shift in my life because of that. Like, I immediately wanted to know more about hip hop. I
And I feel
immediately
like
wanted
you
to know
don't-
where it came from,
You don't have that now.
who these guys were, and why they are the way that they are, and what else were they doing. And
hip hop is what did that to me in the sense where once I really started getting into that is when I just started obviously I got thrown back in time again into the fucking 70s where to see where it all really started coming from, and
Right.
that's when it all started making sense to me, and I'm like, as far as like the culture of it,
Mm-hmm.
how it evolved through those decades in its own way, and it's really fascinating. I think it's more fascinating that evolution than any other than
like,
most of the other musics that are out there. Like
because I feel like
the changes in
rock and roll
that
has been rock
hip-hop's
and
done.
roll for so long, right? Like, it's been rock and roll for so long.
Yo, imagine being the first guy to realize what they could do with those fucking turntables.
Yeah, right.
and then doing what
Right.
they did. Like,
And I mean, like obviously there's been changes. There's been technological advances in rock and roll. There's been, you can sample your voices now in rock. You can be your own backup singer if you want. You can make a bass loop right on the fly on stage. You couldn't do that in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. You know,
they had loop machines then.
all the way back then, for real.
Oh, they had a lot of
effects.
For like the guitars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like probably not as crazy as they do
know what you
now,
mean.
right? Like,
Well, you know, a lot of times people were afraid to take a chance, somebody to take a chance on it.
right.
So,
But hip hop became such a mainstream staple so fast. Like, as far as like all of a sudden one day it's a bunch of rock stations on the radio, and then the next thing you know, there's top 20 is hip hop, basically.
change of the times.
Yeah.
Just like now. Who would have thought it would have been this way now?
Dude, I don't even know who's on the radio.
Me neither.
Like, I listen to it and it's all foreign to me. Like it just like, unless they're, doing the 12 o'clock throwback, whatever. I
always give it
know.
a chance.
I
just
try.
because I don't or haven't really been into anything over the last 10 years, that's not to say that I won't ever. I'll still always listen to see if something.
I follow, like, for newer stuff these days. I follow, like, I try to find cool electronic artists because like, I know, like, the ones that really stand out, you could I can tell put a lot of time into, like, their sound designing and a lot of really tricky stuff to stand out and be as good as they are. So I kind of look for those guys now, but, like, I don't know, man. It's really hard to find good stuff right now. It's hard.
Now I wouldn't even try to be that limited to it.
What,
Like,
as far as what you're listening to?
Like, I'm
for
not looking for
something-
rock bands
for
anymore.
something.
No, I
I
don't.
wouldn't even stop to look for that. I wouldn't be like, okay, I want to hear the next best rock band, or I want to hear the next best hip hop band, or whatever. I would just
Music.
put it on and then let me find out for myself.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the way I found out about all these other bands watching MTV Primetime.
Right.
Waiting for somebody else to show up that I was expecting. I got blindsided by something that I never would have found anywhere else. And we don't have that today. And that's what I wish we had.
I don't even remember the last time I like put MTV on. Like, I just scroll
There
right
is
past
no
it now.
MTV.
No, it's all bullshit.
It hasn't been for years.
No, for like years and years.
And that's fucked up. It's music
VH1
television.
is like, it's not the same.
That shit died in the 90s.
and that's
Yeah.
dumb. Why
They only
even-
really had like a
why even keep
10-year
it-
run with music videos if
yeah.
you really think about it. Before it really
show
started changing.
videos
doesn't make
or
any sense.
show videos or shut it down
Because it
It's
still
that
costs,
bad.
Shut it
a lot of money to make these music videos.
Shut it down.
Like,
now.
you remember, like, Hate Me Now? Like, it was the most expensive music video ever made when it was made. Nas, Hate Me Now.
when they used to do that making the video
yeah.
type shit.
Yo, pop-up video was my shit. Pop-up video was my
I
shit.
did not like the sound effects.
I didn't either. But
Get
I
on
like
your nerves.
I like the
Couldn't
special.
get into the video. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't want to hear that shit. What is there? I don't want to hear that shit.
Yo, but I like the kind of the trivia knowledge though that
Yeah.
it gave you. You know, like behind the scenes kind of stuff. It was almost like commentary.
Yeah, it would say where they're really from or where they're filming at,
Right.
or all this, cool little shit that you wouldn't know anyway. So yeah, do
like-
all that shit again.
Just with that.
Yeah,
Well, how would you do it again?
start it up.
Well, I know that, but we kind of talked about this last time. But you would need people to give you content.
So this is one of the things that we're gonna try and do here.
Let's figure out a way to get this shit so we can show everybody, to show videos and all this kind of stuff, because you guys are not learning.
Yeah, music.
You got millennials are not learning about the old school.
you guys, you millennials,
No, they're not. I mean,
Back in my day, we listened to the '60s.
with no fucking shoes on.
that's where it's at for me. I'm sorry.
No, dude, I totally agree with you, and because
And that goes for me being in this new generation as
it's
well.
so, like, it's crazy because you listen to the classic rock station now, and it's like Pearl Jam.
Ugh.
You know what I mean?
Still with
like,
them?
Don't get me started.
What the fuck? See, well, that's the thing. These
I hate
fucking,
Pearl Jam.
All right, so the regular radio
I
stations.
know we just lost like 3/4 of our fucking listening fan base because I
Sorry,
said that, but
listen.
I fucking hate them.
Listen, if you can't handle people talking shit on Pearl Jam,
I'm sure they're great people. I'm sure they're great, really
you should
nice
be able to
guys.
say whatever you want if you like or don't like.
the radio stations,
Difference doesn't
like the
matter.
local radio stations, I don't get it, man. Like they're still literally, that's what they play. That bands like Shinedown, nonstop. Every fucking time.
Nonstop.
Every time I turn on.
There it
And then
is.
everybody's up in arms over fucking this band Greta Von Fleet, who is just, to me,
Doesn't matter what
They
any of
are
us say.
atrocious. They're atrocious.
It's working.
it's
Somebody's
imitation.
buying it.
All it is imitation.
Doesn't matter. Somebody's
well,
buying it.
that-
I know
These
tons of
kids
people are
don't
buying
even
it, but
care.
to me,
that
it's
also
just
comes back to like what we
complete
said
imitation.
before, though, is that like everything's been done before, right? So like we can sit
Right.
here and say that they're a Led Zeppelin ripoff, which they are.
You can't tell me that their thought process with them isn't to sound exactly like Led Zeppelin.
Right.
You cannot convince me that they
Yeah.
didn't say we needed to sound exactly like that because we can. You know,
Right.
instead of trying to sound differently, he's got a great voice. Or is that a girl? I don't even know. Name's Greta Von Fleet, so I don't know. Is it a boy or a girl?
I don't even know.
But
They-
it's to me,
Yeah.
it's like you don't have like if you sound just like that when you sing, it doesn't mean your record needs to sound like Led Zeppelin. Like
There's no way you
know what I
can
mean?
hear any of their stuff and not be like Led Zeppelin.
Right.
like
The same way I did with
write like Queen style songs with that singer, and then people would have been like, "Oh my god, it's like a hybrid," and I might even be into it. But since it's just a cheap version of fucking Led Zeppelin, to me.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
remember
a kiddie version of it.
back in the day, Stone Temple Pilots had that song. Did you think that they sounded just like Pearl Jam?
Which one?
You know the song.
All those guys sounded the same.
The-
Uh-huh.
no.
That-
The first song.
They all sound like
the
that.
first song Stone Temple Pilots released. What was it called? You know, you've heard it a million times. It's always been on.
Plush.
Yeah.
Plush. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yes.
Plush. Okay, yeah.
You know, yeah, and I
Yeah, they all sounded like that. Except, well, Chris Cornell was just an octave higher, but he sounded just like that too.
No, but he was different. He was on some other shit.
Yeah, Cornell.
Not him.
That whole phase
Cornell was
just-
the best out
was
of there,
over.
probably.
Going home.
It's probably my favorite Stone Temple Pilot song, though, to be honest. It's one of them, anyway. It's up there
Yeah.
for me. I like that
Which
track.
one? That main one?
Yeah. Plush.
No.
I fuck with it. I like the riff. I like the whole groove on it. Yeah.
It's like they all wanted to sound like a mix between like Elvis and,
There you
and
go.
Bruce.
On tomorrow,
like-
Yeah.
and I feel.
And I feel.
That's what the fucking producer said to Eddie Vedder in his ear. Give me some fucking Elvis and some Bruce, and then Eddie Vedder was like, "Say
I feel
no
like it was
more,
like,
fam.
just
Say no more. I
Just
got
pretend
you."
that you can't sing at all. Just go up there, Eddie, and just
Just
pretend.
mumble.
Yeah, just mumble.
He was the originator of
You're
mumble
gonna,
rap.
you're gonna make fucking millions.
Eddie Vedder is the first mumble rapper.
Oh man,
People are gonna fucking love you forever if you
I'm
just
ready to put
go
some
up there and
fucking Pearl
suck.
Jam on.
don't you do
I'm
it?
ready to
Don't do
put
it.
some Pearl Jam
come
on.
on.
Don't do it
man.
because they're gonna red flag us hard.
Yeah, but I want to talk shit with it playing.
No,
Oh, dude.
See, Pearl Jam was one of those bands where I couldn't do the singer with.
But I like the band.
I like the band,
like the
but I
band.
couldn't do the singer with. Yeah,
Yes.
none of that. None of them songs.
The
The bass
Awesome.
player for fucking a whole decade wore that cheesy ass hat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, that little fucking Gatsby cat or whatever.
Yeah,
the
No,
fuck
you
it
telling
was.
me nobody in 10 years told him, yo, bro,
That's not it. That's not it.
must have a fucking tank between his pants, between his legs.
No, fuck that. He's in Pearl Jam. Nobody gave a shit.
He's a
They couldn't
bass
do
player.
They couldn't do anything wrong.
Listen, even a bass player in Pearl Jam can get laid.
Exactly. I know Eddie Vedder. Oh, for real? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I didn't get down with that 10 album at all.
I didn't get down with a single thing. A single thing they ever did.
Yo,
0%.
who?
I can't say that I've
We
sat
know
there
people.
and I didn't listen to all their albums.
We have
but-
friends that are like big Pearl Jam
Oh
fans.
man.
Oh, me
Right.
too, big time.
And in
Hard.
the late 90s, Pearl Jam, no way you were getting away from any of that shit.
And they get mad.
Or, I'm sorry, early 90s.
Their fans get mad when
Early
you talk
90s.
shit. They get
When
mad.
singles and all that shit was out.
Just release.
It's like Dave Matthews Band fans. They get
release
so mad. They get so mad. Why? For such a mellow band,
I
their
don't-
fans get so mad.
I don't like them at all. and I saw them live, and usually
I have too.
Usually to be converted,
They have
lives. The band is great.
Yeah, they have one of the best drummers, one of the best drummers on the planet.
Agreed.
But I
Fuck
can't
that
do
band.
his voice. I
No.
can't. And they took all their songs and stretched them.
Yes.
I was dying. I'm like,
Yes.
get me the fuck out of here.
I went to one. I saw them live twice, and one of them I felt like they only played like 5 songs, but I was there for like 3 hours. Like, you know, they just stretched them super fucking
Did they-
long. And the cool thing about that was that he shut up. You know what I mean? He wasn't singing extended cuts. Like, he was over there just strumming his acoustic guitar, being a douche.
I had an old buddy would be like, yo, Pearl Jam's doing 3 nights. They got tickets for all 3. They're going to do a different 3-hour set every night. And I just look at him like, I'm speechless to that. 3 nights
Right.
going Pearl Jam all fucking 3 nights. It's like,
I paid $3,000 for this.
All that fucking yodeling.
yeah, dude, that's a lot of yodeling.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. No.
God, I want to play some Pearl Jam.
That
right
fucking
now.
Buddy Holly cover he does. Oh where, come on, baby.
No.
Yo, let's take a break real quick. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Might Be Tunes. In case you guys missed it last week, we had an episode last week. It was live at the Pit. It was the season premiere over there at the Live at the Pit with Jake and Chuck. They had a special guest, the Real Gons. You guys hadn't peeped that out yet. Let's check this out. The drummer is the lead singer, by the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
How many? Is there a 3-piece?
that changes it for me.
Yeah.
Should. Get with them, we could do some shows together.
They're pretty dope.
See, that's different.
I like the vibe.
And it's all 50s covers.
Yeah, around that time period.
See, that's cool.
Yeah. They do a really dope Little Richard cover at the end of this.
I think Jake and Chuck are doing a good job of making these not hurt my ears too.
Yeah, no, the
sound
production,
good.
the production quality over there is really good. They've really stepped it up quite a bit, and they do the videos for these guys as well. It looks great.
I'm not familiar with the song, being that it's a cover.
I'm not all that familiar with the song either, but
I think that's what makes it cool.
Yeah,
You're
I think that is
listening
what
to
kind
it
of-
with fresh ears.
right. But
And
did you
if
go check
pick
it out?
You pick it out.
Check it out. It was on from last week. Might Be Tunes Live at the Pit featuring
Cool.
the
Sounds
Real
good
Gons.
so far. From
Yeah.
what I heard, I like.
I liked it. So we were talking about favorite decades in music, and one of the things that I listen to heavily in all the decades, in music in general, is the production. Right. So like you listen to music from all the different decades, and especially now with today's like headphones and today's speakers and the advancements in technology or whatever, you can hear such a difference between the older stuff and the newer stuff. I feel like the older stuff is louder a lot of times. Like for me, not every time, but like I feel like some of the newer stuff, they try so hard to get it like perfect that it almost isn't anymore, and you can almost feel like it's fake. It's
come in on
artificial,
that.
right?
Production's your whole thing.
Well, when it went digital, between like people started using Pro Tools and getting a lot more digital with their back end part of the production, like mixing and mastering and stuff like that. Then like in the recording world, it's known as the loudness wars.
Right.
I could be talking out of my ass. Late 90s probably is when it started. Mid to late 90s, probably, I think. But if you really understand production, it's really difficult to get into how people get songs so fucking loud. But usually you're sacrificing some serious dynamics to do it.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
with older, I feel with older bands and older, recordings, like they would, how do you really explain this with decibel levels and shit? You really, to people that are probably like, what the fuck, once they're listening to this, but different equipment can handle different kinds of things, basically is the moral of that story. So back in the day when you would push like those boards and get really loud with them, and actually added to the sound that came into the records,
Yeah.
and glued sounds together, made all the different boards had different characteristics of, within their own rights, different characteristics that they would add. But then once it got to digital, they had to like create that And so through the years of like figuring out how to get to the like sound as good as analog in the digital world, they just went fucking nuts, man.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
to me, when I hear real loud stuff, I'm like pretty sure it's not as like maybe might not be as grooving
Right.
as like something that's not
Right.
pinned to the fucking ceiling, because you got to like slam it and compress it and just, you know, to get stuff real loud. And that's what bumps in clubs, and that's what gets people's attention.
Right.
Now it's something loud, you know.
Right.
I like loud stuff, but
Me too. Same.
it's usually, it needs to be in like the digital world though. Like the electronic music is a lot easier to get louder than a fucking rock band.
I feel like in the analog days, or when people do analog, some people would use like distortion and shit as an instrument, like as like timed distortion, timed peaks, shit like that. I'm thinking like Rage Against the Machine is a prime example of that. Jimi Hendrix, you know, shit like that. They would just get that distortion in there to as part of their art. And it's harder to do that with the digital shit, I would assume.
Well, yeah, you know, like old mixing techniques with rock records is, you know, when you get to the chorus, if you listen to records, you'll hear it. Like, you know, faders go up. Like that was what real mixing was back in the day, where they would like mix down a tape. They'd be pushing faders up and like making the choruses, you know, go up in volume, you know, and then bringing it back and that kind of stuff to give you actual movement and feeling of energy moving in the song.
Right.
Go to digital, you have to create that. You know, if everything that you're recording is just like a lonely keyboard, like you got to go in there and create that movement and that volume and all that kind of.
That's a pain in the ass.
And it is a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
but it's when you get to that's the kind of dorky shit I get all caught up in.
Well,
know?
because that's what finishes a vibe.
Yeah.
You ever
That's what
see
finishes
Sound
it.
City? That documentary about that studio in LA where a lot of the
where the ones where the Foo Fighters bought the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you should check that out. That's
What-
big into what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
it
A lot of the
explains
stuff
it.
that he just mentioned is done in that video.
Okay.
And I guarantee you there's at least 50 albums that you've listened to that come out of that studio.
I'll check that out.
Yeah,
What's it
look up.
called again?
Sound City.
Sound City. okay.
Everybody check that out.
I'm gonna check
if
it
you
out.
want to know anything about recording, check that out.
So if you can't push like digital software like you could those old boards, like I said, when you pushed it to their decibel limit, it like almost made it sound better. Well, no, it didn't. Almost, it did make it sound better. When you push a digital realm to its max, you know what it's like when you hear clipping when you're working in Logic.
Yeah.
It sounds like dog shit.
It does, yeah.
Yo,
Quick.
whose white dog shit is this on my track? That's what it's saying when you're when you fuck up and it's tricky. I don't know. Like I just kind of, when I'm mixing a song, whether it's electronic or rock, like I just follow the same. Like I act like I'm doing it on a board. Like I treat my plugins like it's a board, and then I don't try to get too loud. I just kind of stay within the, just keep them all the same. I
So,
guess.
I've never recorded in analog. It sounds and looks like it would be so much more challenging but rewarding. I've recorded a band in digital. I've recorded a ton of hip hop in digital, and I was always like very, detail driven as far as like samples and where things would fit and even time distortion. But like, I don't know. That was always the funnest part of it to me, was just like the stupid little things that only I knew about that happened in that song. And maybe like a couple other people heard that like little sound or that little me turning the volume up on this one part of it.
Or when it pans from left
Yes,
to right.
yes,
ears.
exactly.
No, I always pick up on that
Yep.
shit.
And
I'm always listening.
that's
for
always like my favorite shit. Because
Yeah.
there's like certain songs I'll listen to and I'll be driving around with Jackie and I'm just like, yo, here it comes. Just wait. And it's like this stupid little smash or like psh,
Like the
extra,
Black
like
Album.
extra like thing.
There's a lot of stuff in the Black Album that's I didn't know was there until I saw A Year and a Half in the Life of Metallica.
like the rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you hear that in the song.
Yeah, and the cowbell.
Those guys went all out on that record, man.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a cowbell in My Friend of Misery. There's a cowbell in the chorus. Until I saw that video, I didn't know.
But that's crazy. Like that's one of my favorite things about, the production side of it is like, and that's what I liked about that, the Black Rock album. the extra shit on YouTube. They have like the little mini documentary about it, and they show you, they break each song down, not all of them, but most of them. And
Those guys record pretty analog.
oh yeah, big time. And I thought that was really, really cool to like show me what that looked like, and that gave me a lot of inspiration, to be honest. But like, I don't know. Back to the decades question. I'm still a '90s guy. I guess that's just where I come from. That's my like where, you know, like my
90s
age
were
was
still good.
90s, like there's so much change in the 90s, and there was like a lot of variety. And I think that like, I mean, you could flip the radio on and hear anything from Smash Mouth to, you know, Korn to Radiohead, Rage Against the Machine. Audio Slave was late 90s, right? Late 90s?
I think
Limp
Audio
Bizkit was
Slave
huge in the 90s.
2000s. I think
Audio Slave's first record was 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, it was
early 2000s.
because Rage was still going in.
Linkin Park was early 2000s too, right?
They were
Not
late.
like-
No, they were late
Hybrid Theory was probably late 90s.
90s, early 2000s,
I think it was 99.
Yeah.
99,
sure it was
2000,
99.
right around there.
So I might be fucking up. I might have to go the first early 2000s, because when was Incubus? Incubus was a huge part of my life.
Late 90s,
Late
2000s.
Incubus, the early 90s is when they first started. That
But no
Science
one
record
knew.
was
Science
old.
was early 90s.
That was mid 90s. That was mid to late 90s.
I think Science was like 93.
It might have been.
Check that.
It might have been. Fungus
don't
Among
think
Us
so.
might have been 93.
Oh, that might be it. That's
Fungus
the one I was
Among Us
forgetting
might have
about.
been 93.
That one's old as fuck.
That shit was crazy too. They recorded that shit in their basement, and it sounded like a fucking Primus record.
I think
almost.
that's the one. Because I think Science was late 90s. Not
And then
mid to late 90s.
Make Yourself was like their big.
That was definitely 99, 2000.
Yeah. See, because like I liked,
And that was the one I liked the most.
yeah, Make Yourself is
That
like
one and
that's a
Morning View were the
classic.
ones I liked the most.
Those are like that. Morning View was like their last like great record, in my opinion.
Those two are all I need.
I really can't get down with much else after that.
Those two, and I don't even really like Science or like that.
I love Science. Science to me is like the cherry on top for them. You know what I mean? Because like, pardon me. Each each one of their albums was like a total redo.
I'm not even going front. That's when I came into Incubus because of that song.
Was Pardon Me.
Really?
Right.
Yep.
Pardon Me is a jam, dude. I can't
but
listen
it
to
was-
Drive
it
anymore,
was-
but Drive
it was-
was a jam.
It was brand new
Right.
when I came into it. It wasn't a hit yet.
Dude, their bass grooves were so hard.
Yep.
Like so hard. And then, you know, you throw on top of it, they had a DJ going on, and it was just a whole vibe.
All of it for
I
then.
can't find Fungus Among Us.
Then that must mean it was the earliest one.
There was Enjoy Incubus too, which was I don't remember. Fungus Among Us was the first one, and then Enjoy Incubus was kind of like they re-recorded that and put some of it out again, and then Science. I was like an Incubus junkie back then.
See,
I don't know.
That was my first
I
concert.
had Czarface all queued up, and
I was more
now
def.
now
I was
they're
more
gone.
Deftones than I was Incubus.
Same,
Yeah,
by far,
Deftones. Yeah,
by
Yeah.
far.
yeah. I like the
I think
Deftones, but I was Incubus.
my biggest shame of the fucking 90s has to be fucking Limp Bizkit, though. It's my biggest shame.
Dude, I fucked with Limp Bizkit hard.
Like,
Look into these eyes.
Look into these eyes.
I can't. That's my biggest fucking shame.
I'm the only one.
Yo, the worst line for him isn't even on his own song. It's the fucking Aaron Lewis thing.
Feeling these lighters.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling the lighters.
Yeah.
It was so corny.
Lighters.
So
if only
corny.
we could fly. Oh my God.
Yo, they had a like, Significant Other was a hard album. Like, I liked that album a lot. I actually listened to it not that long ago, and I was like, yeah, I still fuck with this
All
album.
right, okay. Look.
What was the other one after that?
I look. I
Chocolate
had.
Starfish or some shit?
Yeah, I had the $3 bill y'all tape. I listened to it for a little bit. It was all right for its time.
Yeah, it was
but
cool.
I quickly
That's
got
the one
off
with
of that
Faith,
quick.
right? That was the one with Faith on it?
Yeah, I quickly got off Limp Bizkit Faith like quick because like yeah.
You weren't into it?
I was.
What did
but
it for you?
Huh?
What did it for you for them?
Him?
Yeah, Fred
Oh,
Durst.
that
His ad libs. Because that's what they ended up being. That's what they were.
Him.
Yeah. Oh, he was
Hey,
definitely
rockers, hip hoppers, he's everybody all around the world. That got on my nerves. Like I couldn't do it, man. Hey, ladies. Hey, fellas. Yeah. People that don't give a fuck. And I know it.
I'm saying they're my shame.
wow.
I'm sitting here saying it's my shame, and then he just goes off reciting every fucking lyric.
They were big. They were big.
But that's what it was.
You got to know your haters.
Where you at?
Dude,
know
do you
who you
remember
hate, I
they
mean.
did they did it was for like the second Mission Impossible movie. They did the Mission Impossible song or whatever for the you know, that shit was kind of hard.
You think Method Man regrets?
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
That video was awesome, by the way. That video was dope as fuck.
Maybe we can meet up on the sun. Yo.
Yo, I was big into Limp Bizkit and Korn.
I was more in the corner than I was.
I'm not embarrassed for liking Korn though.
No, me neither.
Like I told you before, they put on the loudest concert I've ever seen. It was so loud it made me sick.
I saw Korn. I think I said this last time. House of Pain, Biohazard, and Korn opening up in '94.
Wow.
And no one knew who Korn was at that time.
What the fuck were they playing in '94? Was that song Blind?
Chutes and Ladders.
Yeah.
Yo,
Adidas.
They had a song called, I'm not even sure if I should say this on the radio, but it starts with an F. It was on the first album.
They made some pretty
I'm
raunchy
not going to
songs.
say it. But yeah.
Dude, they had a fucking raunchy song with Fred Durst where they talked about fucking each other. It was on Follow the Leader.
I know what you're talking about.
All in the Family. Is that what it was called?
He's
The fucking that song was hard as shit until they started talking about fucking each other.
Coney motherfucker with the limp. Go buy yourself a new grill.
And I hate you.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's all in
And I bought fuck you. Dude, they went raunchy. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, this took a turn.
Yeah. Everything always took a turn with that dude.
Yeah.
He's just
John Davis.
something wrong with that guy.
How many original members are still in Korn? Is it just two?
Everybody except the drummer.
Is that right?
No.
Yeah.
The other guy met God.
Well, he's back.
But he came back, I thought, right?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah.
God got tired of his ass.
Yeah.
Or his bank account needed.
Yeah, their drummer was nice. Is their new drummer nice? I haven't listened to
Yeah,
Korn
actually,
in a long time.
he's better.
Is he?
Like,
Their original drummer
no,
was really good.
He's good, but I'm telling you, he's better. Go see Korn now. Korn is never disappointed anytime I've ever seen him.
I've never seen him, and that's one regret I have in my life. I would love to see Korn.
Korn is never disappointed
I feel
live.
like I saw him a few years ago too. I don't remember.
And I've seen him with everybody. I've seen him when they had Joey Jordison
Yeah,
from
I've seen him a bunch actually.
dude from Slipknot filling in.
They used to do the Family Values tour a lot, right?
Yeah.
Is that even still? That's not a thing anymore.
Nah, that went out a while ago.
That was like how many years did that last?
Couple.
Not
And I
a
thought
lot.
that was
Was
like wasn't that a Limp Bizkit thing?
No, it was a Korn thing.
It was a Korn
It was
thing.
well, they were both large at the same time, but Korn was a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And they tried to make it last for a little while. And it sucks. Ice Cube was on one of those.
Yeah.
too.
Yep. That's where I think, isn't that where like Stained really got big? Isn't
That's where that song came from. That fucking thing.
Yeah.
So,
Fuck.
yeah.
Dude, I hate that song.
oh.
I hate, so like Stained, Creed.
And
I couldn't stand Creed. Stained and Creed, I just couldn't deal
I
with.
wouldn't lump those two together, but they both equally annoy me.
Yeah.
I liked Stain until he picked up that acoustic guitar. And then as soon as he did that, everything was crybaby shit.
Yeah.
On the outside.
Yeah. Oh my
Is that-
God.
I'm looking.
And I lie here in bed.
Imagine owning a radio station and that's what you have to play 20 times a day to pay the bills.
It was always on.
All the fucking time.
Always.
It still is probably.
It is. No, it is. Not as much as then, obviously.
Couldn't
But
stand. Even like he was playing simple chords and it just still
dude, it
sounded
was
like,
that and Drive by Incubus. I couldn't do it.
Yep. Same
Like,
thing with Drive.
When Drive came out, I was all about it. But then
It was cool because
like-
it was different.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, yo, I got to get away from this fucking
Enough.
song. It's
Enough.
always on.
There's gotta be, all right. I'm going to be embarrassed to say this, but there is one Creed song that got past me.
which one?
You like Higher.
No.
So let's go there.
So let's go there.
Come on, let's go there.
See, he's another one. He's
God,
fucking. He
dude.
must have tripped and hit his head in fucking
Dude.
Seattle when he was a kid.
Oh, it's the worst, man.
No,
that and like
the song's called "What If."
What if? What? No,
Like, yo,
that's a bad one.
I'll fist pump to that one.
Fuck that song, man. Come on, that's a bad one. What if? What forever?
It's got a
dude,
groove.
the fucking so Creed,
I see why you say that, but I don't like the way he says it.
Creed and Stained also as well. We talked about MTV and stuff. Their guitarists for both bands were visually annoying as fuck. I don't know if anybody else.
Hold on.
Yes, yeah. They did the low
I doing
fucking. Ooh. And then
Everybody in
for
Florida
everything.
did that
For
back in the
everything.
day.
They
fuck-
did it for
Yeah.
everything.
Well, we call
Even
it
when
up
they were
here-
just doing nothing. That's what they were doing.
Up here, we call that the Orlando,
Is that right?
because it's
Yeah,
every
it was-
fucking band out of Orlando.
Yo,
That's
it
where
was
that,
it was big in Florida way back in
just hang the guitar down. And
New
just do it.
millennium.
I mean, I
Like,
don't know how to do it.
Yep.
can you take me higher? And then they do that, and he's like, still like just
The Corn guys do
stupid.
it. The Corn guys do it.
But see that,
but
but
it
that
was
that shit's
different.
accessible.
Their bass player
That's
started
acceptable.
the thing. Their bass player started like one. Of
They were
those
the
things.
first ones to do it, and then everybody after them started cloning, and then.
But they're not playing pop music.
It really took hold in
Like
fucking
Creed,
Florida.
I consider Creed pop rock. Like that's what it was, right? Like I don't
That's
look
safe
at
to
them as
say.
I don't look at them as like
Yeah, because they did that. Wood Arms.
arms
Arms-
wide open.
Yeah, see, that was everywhere. That was another one of those big songs.
Do you know a band that like I feel like could have been or should have been bigger and they weren't, but like I fucked with them pretty heavy. POD.
Yeah, well, they were no. They were big.
They got a lot of commercial
Youth of a
success.
Nation.
Yeah, they did.
Their
That-
fucking
yeah.
records sound
Youth
like
of a Nation was a song you
Youth of
couldn't
a
get
Nation
away
was
for a
huge.
while.
Well, that Satellite album was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
That's a record for you to put on. That's a quiet record. Like when you, that's one that
You're
sticks
right.
out to me. That is a quiet record. No matter how fucking hard you turn that your volume up, it's just like it's missing. It's like not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one to listen to.
Well, it
to
was
know
good.
what I was trying to talk about
I do
earlier.
like that album.
Very
Feel
quiet
so
record.
alive. Yeah, I fucked with P.O.
Remember that video? That video was hard.
They got a lot of video, like a lot of video play and a lot of radio play. More than the only one that never made any sense to me that didn't was the one that fucking sparked it all was the Deftones. They were way more responsible for those fucking bands sparking off
I
than
agree.
anybody wants to admit, and they were the ones that just got left in the dust at the same point. But now they're bigger than any of those other bands has ever fucking been, pretty much. Maybe
But
not
see,
so much Korn,
I
but
like that they were kind of in the back, but in the front.
doing their own thing.
Yeah, I like that about them.
So while all those bands fell off, I just continued on with Deftones the whole
Yeah.
time.
Can't fuck with Deftones.
Still do. Still go to every show.
They
And they're coming up. It's coming up.
yeah, I thought I saw something about them. They either have a show. Do they have an album coming out soon?
They must.
Speaking of new albums coming out soon, I don't know if you guys are fans, but The Weeknd is coming out with a new album soon. I'm a huge Weeknd fan.
I like
huge,
Well, this weekend's over.
like bigger.
But I mean,
Well, yeah. Now with all this daylight
isn't it
saving
I mean,
time
it's
shit,
Friday. I mean, this weekend's just getting ready to
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
yeah. That's right.
That's it.
It's Friday.
That's
didn't
it.
start it.
Happy weekend, everybody.
We've been a week in the daylight savings time, and
Yeah,
I'm still
yeah.
not used to it.
I'm not used to it. So.
Well,
But no, he's got a new album coming out. I fuck with The Weeknd pretty heavy.
no, my kid.
His
my
new
kid
shit's
likes
probably
him.
gonna be good. No, so he's got like these. The thing about The Weeknd, what's your kid's favorite song by him?
I mean, well,
I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With You.
Yeah, like
it's
his party
hilarious.
songs.
It's hilarious that songs about doing cocaine,
that's great.
and kids love it. One of the
So do kids' dads.
dude. It's, I know, no, but what I'm saying. So like, a lot of
I
people.
was talking about the cocaine.
I listen right.
Wow.
I started listening to The Weeknd when we were still working with DJ Brino back in the day. This is when he came out with like his first like few mixtapes, and I listened to it. And you want to talk about production, like weird production. His shit for his first 3 mixtapes. He has them out called the Trilogy. That's what you can find it on like Spotify and shit now. It's super dark, weird shit, and it's like a conceptual. All 3 things kind of tie together. I've listened to it a billion times now, and it's really, realistically to me, it's like one of the most twisted, fucked up, weird
Is it on
projects ever. Yeah.
So the Weeknd's mixtapes.
The trilogy is what it's the first one is House of Balloons, number 2 is Thursday, and number 3 is called Echoes of Silence. And dude, The Weeknd is a crazy motherfucker, dude, but he can make some fucking hits. And his albums, like, dude, his first album sucked. I hated it. Yeah, that's the trilogy there. Boom.
So that's all of them? All the songs? Oh, yeah. Wow.
It's a bunch.
Well, thank you. And give me something to do.
I'm telling you, dude, it's weird.
No, I like his production. I like what he does. Like, I like the party.
This is different.
I like the party and stuff more.
Way different.
But
you're probably gonna be pretty surprised by some of that shit. It's very dark.
That old, huh? 2012. So he's been at it for a while.
This is like, he was homeless for a while, and this was like
The Weeknd was
about that time. Not when he was homeless, but it's kind of about that time in his life. Yeah, he was. I think he dropped out of high school and like lived in a van with like one of his buddies, and it just kind of, this whole shit is kind of about his experience about that, and it's fucked up. I'm telling you, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm into it.
And then when people like the whole like, I can't feel my face when I'm with you, like, I knew that like, obviously that's a hit, and that was kind of when he blew up. And that and the whatever 50 Shades song he did, they were okay, but dude, he's a fucking crazy good artist. It's wild. What else is new coming out? Jadakiss just dropped a new album. It's pretty good. It's okay. A lot of people hating on it though, because he pretty much does the same flow throughout the whole thing, which I guess I can agree with, but it's still pretty good.
Is that his trademark?
I never really
thing?
listened to him.
You're not a big Jaded guy?
I can't speak on him.
Right. He does have like a trademark style, but I don't know. I liked it, but I just saw a lot of bad reviews
What's
about
his
it.
like main hit? Like, what would you say his like main hit is? Like his number one?
I don't know. Something with the Locks.
If I look him up, I'm gonna lose The Weeknd in my queue. And I'm gonna forget to listen to it. Should have brought my laptop.
Definitely listen to The Weeknd. I'm telling you, you might not like it, but I like some weird shit. I do.
So do I.
like
But
I know some of his stuff, but I can't think of any of the titles.
who?
Jadakiss?
Jadakiss. I can't think of it off the top of my head either. I know.
I could see his face.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him, but
I'm trying to think. What else? What has come out recently? What have I been listening to recently? Is the better question. I've been listening to a lot of Weeknd because I'm getting hyped up for his new album to come out. I've been listening to Kendrick Lamar because he started tweeting, or he was on Instagram the other day, so he must be coming out with something new. I would put Kendrick Lamar in my top 5. I'm not even gonna lie.
I like him.
I really would.
I like him a lot. He can't really speak. I haven't heard everything, but all the stuff that I have listened to, I mean, he goes fucking hard.
He goes fucking hard,
like,
man.
He
goes.
I'm not gonna lie,
hard.
he goes fucking hard.
Yeah.
On that one Dre song, the fucking one that we love, that is the best. He goes so hard on that song.
yep.
Yeah,
he did some stuff on the Game album that I like.
Have you heard Kendrick's most recent album, Damn?
I think so. How recent is recent?
Damn,
like last year,
2017.
Yeah, I've definitely listened to it.
Okay, because that shit is great. Yeah,
I've listened to that one.
Yeah. My favorite though is Good Kid, Mad City.
I like that one.
That's fucking just a classic. I've also been listening to RJD2. Are you guys familiar with him?
No.
He's a Philadelphia producer. His album Dead Ringer from 2002 is phenomenal. It's mostly just like instrumental shit, but I like him. You might recognize a couple of his songs. But anyway, that's about all the time we got. To settle things up, though, real quick, best decade in music. We're pretty much unanimous here on the 70s.
70s, hands down.
Yep.
Like overall
70s,
overall vibe.
The 70s is the sample box of everything that's come since.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
It's just the sandbox that just is everything.
Even with like hip hop samples,
and that's why
that's when the world. That's when like different cultures started just merging together. 70s when it all started coming together.
And that's why I said in the beginning, everything has tried to be the 70s.
Because at that point I would say probably the 70s is when like more bands were probably doing like United States tours from England, and like I think that's when that really started beefing up, like the bigger
bridges
tours
started getting built up.
So it was just that is what everything
70s.
today is from.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Well, Excellent job this week, guys. We didn't play anything illegal, so this will be on YouTube. Make sure you smash the subscribe button. Also, we're sponsored by Eunomia. Go to eunomiacbd.com. Use promo code MBN. 20% off, free shipping, free shit, and it's all good stuff. Check us out on mbnnetwork.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. I'm Ed, Carl. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, everybody stay safe.
For that Corona shit.
Get away from everybody. You guys have a good weekend. Be good out there.
Yeah.
Be safe.
You might be Skyping it in the next month or so. So
Yeah, you never know.
Pay attention, people.
Wash your hands. All right, everybody. Have a good weekend. Be safe. See you guys next time.